Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, joined by Preston Johnson at Sports Cheetah on Twitter and Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas. We're going to talk about the national championship game. Guys, this one's really exciting. Alabama, 6-point favorite, total 59.5 over the Clemson Tigers. I will start with you, Preston, because I know you have a play on this game.
Well, I don't necessarily. I have like a 14-unit swing from an Alabama future from before the season that I made, which is worthless to people listening to the video now. So I'm not hedging it, though. If you have Alabama futures, they're a favorite for a reason. I think they are the better team. They've played a tougher schedule. And, you know, Clemson ended up beating up on Notre Dame, but that was 9-3 before Notre Dame had 2 D-backs get injured. They turned it over 3 times. They were inside Clemson's territory, I think, that side of the 50, like 8 times, and they only scored once or something. It was maybe 6 times and only scored once. So it was a little closer than the final score ultimately, and I think Alabama gets it done. So from that point of view, I'm letting that ride. But I did bet in town the total opened way too low. It was like 54.5, 55.5. And it opened offshore at 62.5, I think. And so it's kind of met in the middle, and it's close. But I still, my numbers, have it in the low 60s. So at 58, that would be my buy point for people that are watching. If it keeps trickling down, 58's the buy. I think, and we talked about it even, throughout the season, even before the season when I did some future look-ahead stuff. But Tua, when I saw him play just a half against Georgia, I thought, this Alabama offense might just be more dynamic than we've ever seen. Sure enough, they've looked that way. And, Clemson defensively, they're great. They have some guy. Lawrence is going to be out right on the defensive line. I think most likely. I don't think he is playing. So they're banged up a little, but they haven't played nearly the schedule. I just think it lines up. The numbers say it should be low 60s. So if we're getting a 58 or better, I think it's a worthwhile bet.
All right, Marco, your thoughts on the national championship?
I'm going to look to the dog, and you realize that since New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, the dogs went 9-2 in the bowl games.
Why do you think I'm walking into work with a big smile on my face?
And some backdoor covers, some unbelievable play calling. I love that fake field goal punt, whatever you want to call it, that Oregon was doing.
I was on Michigan State plus 3, and I was going,
on them.
I was going, oh my God, what is this monstrosity?
But you look at this one, and I agree with you that Alabama's played the tougher schedule. There's no question about that. The SEC top to bottom versus the ACC top to bottom. There's no comparison.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there. Let's see how the SEC's done in bowl games. Is that any indication of maybe the SEC scheduling is not as prolific as your?
Well, the reputation's there, and so I know that the advance number was higher than this, but I still think there's a little bit of bias to Alabama because they're there. It's Nick Saban every year.
I know Clemson's.
I think Clemson obviously has earned it with what they've done in the last 4 years. I mean, this is one of the most consistent programs. In what is this, 3rd or 4th time they're meeting
Fourth.
now? Yeah. And
well, 4th time they've been in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm going to look at this one, and I'm going to say that I'm going to go with the defense. This is old school for me, that you've got the better defense, catching points. What concerns me about Alabama, their offense is rolling. They've scored, 50, 52, 35, and 45 points. But the Bama defense, they gave up in the Georgia game 456 yards, and Oklahoma put up 471 yards against them after being down 28-0. Yeah, I know they had to throw the whole game to get back into it, but I'm just not sold on the Alabama defense this year. Clemson's been consistent all year. One team, South Carolina, and I can't explain that one game why South Carolina got the points and the yardage that they did.
A&M did. A&M outgained Clemson by 90 yards and only lost by 2. So those are the 2 times.
But
the SEC teams, right?
Right. But if you remember that game, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the quarterback in that game.
He played some of the game.
Yeah. But
either way, defensively, they gave up 500 yards.
I'm going to take I'm going with them here. I think they've gotten better. I mean, they're allowing right now 4 yards per play. Number 1 defense in the nation, Clemson. I'm going with them. I just think they cover the spread with this one.
One thing that interests me real quick, every time they've met in the past, Clemson-Bama, Clemson's fallen behind early. With Deshaun Watson, they were able to come back a couple times. One of the times they even won the game. With Kelly Bryant, they had no chance last year. If they fall behind early, is Trevor Lawrence really going to be able to do it? Freshman kid, never been tested type thing. So that's one thing I'm intrigued by, is if it's very similar to last year's Kelly Bryant, down 2 scores right away. How does Trevor Lawrence and the Clemson offense respond? So I think it really comes down to Clemson's offense, which they played their best team they played until they just played Notre Dame. The best defense they played is Boston College, and they only scored 2 offensive touchdowns. And Boston College backup quarterback played the majority of the game and was 3 and out every time. And then that goes against what I said about liking the over. I'm usually just trusting numbers, but I am slightly worried if Alabama goes up 14-0 like they tend to do. if Clemson's able to keep up and play catch up.
So maybe for you, an Alabama first half type of wager.
Yeah, I feel like
we know
Alabama,
it's been very profitable, including in the first round.
That's true all year long, basically. It's been good. Yep.
Minus the
I
Citadel.
think there was only one game they did cover. Don't forget Trevor Lawrence, though, 24-4 TD to interception ratio. This kid, he's a freshman. Man, he looks nothing like a freshman with the decisions he makes out there.
All right, great stuff from both guys. Are you a member of the WagerTalk text club? It's 100% free. Just text WagerTalk.
Hey, how about Marco 750?
Oh, I almost forgot. Guys, oh no. Okay, Marco 750 got a huge promo code for Marco. You get all of his everything.
Everything for 12
Marco's
months.
whole life for 12 full months. You get $750 off with this coupon. Marco 750, regular $1750 for just $1,000. That's less than $3 a day. Marco has won 8 straight 5% plays, 10-2 in the NFL last 3 weeks. 59% winners in the NBA this year. Maybe I should start having to do my NBA for CBS. Last 26 days, all plays 34-19. Bankroll increase of 52%. Guys, that is promo code Marco50. Just head over to. Gosh, can you guys tell I'm ready for lunch? Okay, it's Marco750. Just head over to WagerTalk, punch that in. You guys get all of Marco's plays for an entire year for just $1,000.